In today's modern kitchen, there are many appliances that we can't live without. Some of those appliances have been around for years, but they have undergone many different changes. Even though these appliances have been updated, there's still a lot of room for improvement. What is interesting to think about is that these improvements may have already taken place, but they are no longer used. In today's video, we're going to take a closer look at some of the old appliances that someone could bring back. This little contraption may have seemed like a toy, but it wasn't. It was the salad spinner. They are still around, but aren't quite the same as this one. The plastic centrifuges came in pastel greens and creamsicle oranges. Parents usually gave kids the duty of sitting on the floor and cranking this thing like mad to dry lettuce. It was a great way to get children to help out in the kitchen and also to keep them busy. Since we are talking about salads, let's have a look at this forgotten kitchen utensil that's on the upper right. This is a Gourmet Salad Set, and it looks like some sort of medieval torture device. It was basically a wooden block that had a depression in it to hold a head of lettuce. Once you place that in there, you could hack away at it with its half-moon blade. This was a pestle with a sharpened mortar. It certainly looks like a great way to relieve stress after a long work day. If you look in the grocery stores today, you'll still see an array of canned goods, but it does seem like more people buy frozen goods instead. Those that do buy cans have to have a can opener. Hand-operated ones work great, but electric ones work even better. There was a time when electric ones could also sharpen your knives with a satisfying grinding noise. You may have had a mother or a grandmother that used one of these, and she probably whipped up some good recipes with it. This is the Naxon Beanery, and it was the original name for the crock pot. It was developed by Irving Naxon so he could recreate his Lithuanian grandmother's bean soup. The Beanery revolutionized slow cooking in the mid-century. In 1971, the Chicago-based manufacturer was bought out by rival who renamed the plug-in pot the crock pot. If you bought one of these and told your mother or grandmother that it was the same thing, they would probably say it wasn't. In the 1950s, the cocktail culture was going strong and there were many different products on the market. This is a handy device from the latter part of the decade that would crush your ice cubes into chunky slush. Of course, as a kid, you may have used this for your juices, soda, or even water. The Telobar was the ultimate entertainment system in its day. On the outside, it looked like any other cabinet, but once you opened it up, it had everything you needed all in one spot. This had a console television, stereo, and a full-fledged bar all in one convenient package. I'm really not sure why these wonderful inventions still aren't on the market. It's a refrigerator that is meant to hang on the wall. Sure, it would need some strong screws, but think about all the convenience this would have. Every item inside would be a lot more visible and accessible. Well, unless you were a little kid. This brilliant refrigerator would be a lot easier to clean underneath and inside. Hopefully, some appliance manufacturer will give these fridges a good strong look and make them come back. Retractable stovetops came in several varieties and colors. They were all electric and supposed to be somewhat of a space saver and/or convenience. These went out of fashion because the drawers would often break and the stovetop would have to be left out, which would leave it in the way. Perhaps they could improve the drawers and figure out a way for these to be popular once again. If you live in a small apartment or home, then this may be of interest to you, especially if you're renting. You may not have a dishwasher installed, and the landlord probably doesn't want you cutting into the cabinets, which would also leave you with less cabinet space. That's where this portable countertop dishwasher comes in. You can use it when you need to and move it off the counter as needed. In the kitchens of today, you'll notice that refrigerators come in just a few colors: black, white, and stainless steel. There was a time when there were a lot more color options. I'm sure we're all familiar with the 1970s and the popular orange, yellow, and brown. However, if you take a look at this old ad, you'll see a lot more color options than you probably even realized. Sure does make today's world seem a lot more boring. Take a look at this. It looks terrific, but I have never seen one in person, nor have I ever known anyone to have one. Imagine the convenience of having just one appliance. Yeah, sure, it's not energy efficient, but let's push that aside for the moment. This thing could allow you to cook and wash on top of your refrigerator. It sure seems like this thing should be in every tiny home and RV show. If you're lucky enough, then maybe you have one of these lingering in your house. Perhaps you purchased it new or inherited it, but it still works. This little griddle will allow you to whip up flapjacks on top while you cook the sausage below in a little jar. It's a great way to whip up breakfast for the whole family. Take a look at this Ronson Can Opener. It's essentially the Swiss Army knife of can openers. After you're done opening your can of tuna, you could switch it over to a whisk if you're whipping together a cake, a masher and take care of your potatoes, or a scrambler to whip up some eggs. In the 1940s, there wasn't a lot of extra room in the house, so space-saving appliances were very popular. The Thor dishwasher washing machine was one of those appliances that met those needs. This incredible machine could do double duty by washing your dress and slacks in one load, and then your dinner plates and wine glasses in the next load. It really seems like someone needs to figure out a way to make this happen again. The kitchens of yesterday seem pretty interesting. Take this Tapan Fabulous 400 for instance. The burners could be covered up with a wooden cutting board, but when you pulled it out, imagine this little convenience. You could cut up your meats and veggies and then throw them right into the cooking pots in front of you. For those of you that might have to deal with snow in the winter, then this might be a great option for you. It's a snow melting flame gun. Sure, it's not a kitchen appliance, but how else are your dinner guests going to get in the house? There's no reason to throw your back out shoveling snow. Just light this flamethrower and melt your troubles away. If you think about it, this would also be a great option for the summertime as well. You could cook hot dogs and s'mores. Some of these old appliances may seem a little strange, but they really could be something that companies could reinvent for the modern consumer. Many of them have conveniences and appealing features that would become extremely handy in today's home. I hope you enjoyed this little look into the appliances of the past. As always, I thank you so much for watching.